Hey, folks, welcome to Get Rich 101. I'm your host. I'm Secure Rights. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. But today, I've got another person. I've got Alisa Luker. She's a real estate investor and a serial entrepreneur. So we're going to get into her in just a few minutes. All right. So let me get my music going, and we'll see you in a minute. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my Friday show. I'm supposed to be interviewing Alisa Luker, but she hasn't checked in yet. She hasn't checked in yet. We'll see if she gets checked in soon. But in the meantime, I am going to talk about business. Well, actually, I'm talking about the chart. This is the chart right here next to me. This is the chart, and this was interesting because look, I was looking at the chart when it was here, just here a few minutes ago, and then when it jumped, when it opened on my screen, it jumps up there. Now that's good, that's good, but we got to see if it hooks, comes back, and comes forward again, because that's it's very exciting. It's very exciting, but I hope you guys are excited with me. Like you're traveling at 3, and then all of a sudden it jumps to 4. All that space, the empty space right there, is the ticker jumping from one to the next, right? So that's that's a great thing. That's a great thing. And this is what I would do if I was doing the Aladdin's touch. Aladdin's touch. I would jump in here and I let it go. But since I'm not doing Aladdin's touch, I'm gonna let that go for now, and I'm just gonna watch it. I'm just gonna watch it. Okay, and here's Alisa. Well, let me pull her up here, give her a drum roll, and I'll be right back.
Hi, good morning. I'm in between.
Hey, Alisa, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay,
What's
great.
happening? What's happening? So I introduced you as a hold on, a real estate investor and a serial
Yes,
entrepreneur. So
yes.
tell us about that. Tell us what you with about that.
Well, yeah, I've started being a investor, I'm gonna say like 2004. Just always had the passion. I've been to real estate school and studied criminal justice, business,
Wow.
and dental assisting. So that's how I started
Wow.
off.
Many different
You know how
things, right?
people change, yeah, lots of hats. And
Okay.
people change careers, they say about 5 times in their lifetime.
Wow.
Um, so I started in two, no, actually, I started in 1995. That's when we bought our first house. And I
Okay.
just always had the passion and always had the intrigue in just, buying properties just for residual income. Um, I wanted to be a millionaire. That's what my mindset
Okay.
was back in the day. Even though
Yeah.
I didn't want to work at Kentucky Fried Chicken back in the day with fee, but
Yeah.
it always wanted money. So that's how I kind of had the interest of getting into the real estate. Um, um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
All right. So that's a great intro. You introduced a couple things I need to I need to address. So for those of you that don't know, Alisa is Fee King's bestie. Like they are besties. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's Fee King. That's Alisa. And they doing their
Yes.
thing. They're doing their thing.
Right.
So,
Right.
and we picked each other up when you reached out to me about my funding. My
Yes.
yes, right. Now I just
Hmm.
want to point out for everyone that's watching, there are lots of different ways to make money. There are
That is
lots
correct.
of different ways to make money because she called me about investing. So that's Charles Schwab, right? And I
That's
and I
correct.
put, I put her on, but then I was like, real estate. I need to call her. I need to
Right.
call her because she knew her
Right.
thing as well as I knew my thing. And
Right.
so tell me how you've done with Charles Schwab.
I've been I started back in I think November or December.
Okay.
He has taught me a lot of stuff. I'm just kind of like investing each month into it. I just don't know like all the particulars, but with the stock market at this time it's going up and down, up and down. So I'm just taking it easy right now until we, actually get out this kind of I'm gonna say kind of mess right now. But right now, just taking it slow. But I've been calling Mr. Bygrave
Yes.
monthly and just adding in money because I don't, when it comes to the computer, I'm just he's very, very patient with me. He
Yeah.
explains everything. I even got my daughter Diamond. She called him, and then Anna's supposed to call him too to get in. So
Well,
it's gonna be
that's
a family affair.
that's
Yes.
great. That's great. All right. So for those of you that don't know, Bygrave is the man who works at Charles Schwab. Now I've introduced lots of people to him, and he has been guiding Alisa to to make better and better and better decisions. So I'm gonna be trying to be the networker. I'm trying to connect you
Yes.
to him and let him grow and grow and grow and grow and grow.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Your girl Free King asked something right off the rip. She wants to know
Yes.
how much income do you currently have? She
Do
wants to know.
I have how many streams? I worked at DCYC for many years and I had a great role model and it was Mr. Bryant. He told me to always have one main job and have at least three streams of income. So at this moment I have
Hold
I
on.
got about
Say that
five.
again. Say that again.
Yes,
Say that again.
okay. You got to
Say
have one main and
one
at
man,
least three. Yeah, at least
at least
three
three.
other mains of getting money. And so right now I
Wow.
have five.
Wow. All right. So what other five? What
Well,
you got going? What you got
as
going?
you know, I've been a foster parent for almost 30 years.
Okay.
That's one. My rental properties, that's two.
Okay.
My food truck, that's three.
A food truck.
My DD service, that's four. And my cleaning, that's five.
What was number four? The what service?
My DD, developmental disability services.
Development. Okay. What's that? What's that mean?
That's for we help and with developmentally disability people. Okay, I get it.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. As far as disability people, development that we are able to for them to live in the community as normal as possible, and we help to assist them in just normal things, maybe like going to the grocery store,
Okay.
um, going to events in the community. We go to things like the Durham Museum, we go to the park, we go to um, autism places, stuff like that. So we do a lot, and I've been doing
Okay.
that for over about maybe about 15, maybe I say about 12 years.
Wow. You've got quite an arrangement. So
I do.
tell me about the food truck though. I didn't know about the food truck. Tell me about the
Oh
food truck.
yes, I started my restaurant. I started the restaurant 2016. It's Ella Bell's Cafe on Wheels. Well, it was Ella Bell's Cafe Southern Down Home Cooking when I had a brick and mortar. And then once I left the brick and mortar, I ventured out and got my first food truck. I was stationed over in South Omaha off of 16th and Vinton. And I kind of switched it up and said Ella Bell's Cafe on Wheels. So I did that for like 2 years. and then I had to get another food truck, and I just got another. Well, I got a one like back in next year. So I've been catering, I've been hosting events, and now I'm out. I'm about to be back out here with my food truck. Hopefully by the end of this month. That's what I'm pushing.
Wow, that's great. Look, let me
That's
ask you
a
something.
family. Yeah, it'll be a family, a family thing.
Okay, let me ask you something. This is off the thing because I know you did a food
Okay.
truck. So look, I want to do a food truck that does lobster rolls. What can I
Oh,
do?
okay.
Make that happen? Can I make
Lobster rolls, you could do that with a hot. You could start off young. I mean, start off with like how they have the hot dog bins things. You can start off
Yes.
with roll it up and just be out like that. You can start off like that and
Yeah.
then build up if you can't actually get a food truck. So there's many ways of
Okay.
getting your lobster. Your lobster that sounds delicious.
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. I was just in Boston this weekend, and those
Uh huh.
lots of lobster. I had light lobster, but I didn't have a lobster roll, and I was missing the lobster
Oh,
roll. So I was
right,
missing. On a train ride back, I was looking out the window at the lobster roll places we were driving past. I was like, lobster roll.
right, right,
So yeah, I've been
right.
thinking about lobster. I didn't think about lobster. So let me get back on track. Let me get back
Okay.
on track. So why I had you on was to talk about real estate because you were talking about real estate like you was making things happen, and you said you were able to make buy a house quickly or something like that. Like I wanted you to honor us
To
by
kind of talk about that. Anytime you have one thing, the name of the game is that we don't all, when we get into purchasing homes and we get them 30-year loans, especially at this age, we want to quickly pay it off. So what you can do, each month, each year, if you can make an extra house payment a year, that would break it down 7 years faster. So
oh,
with
oh,
instead ending the interest, you're breaking down that interest.
okay, wait a minute. So you're saying instead of I pay the monthly mortgage and I pay the
Yes.
monthly mortgage again, like twice in 1 month?
Once a year. If you can pay it once a year, extra payment of that same mortgage payment a year, you will be ahead of your payoff.
Mm,
So,
okay.
like say 15. So I had a 15-year loan. I paid extra payment a year, so I was able to pay my house off in 7 years.
What?
30 a 30-year loan, yeah, 30-year loan, you would be able to pay your house off in 20 years if you made that extra payment towards your principal, but you put it towards your principal because that breaks it down faster, because a lot of times our payment goes towards principal and interest. So if you could pay it towards the principal, that will allow you to pay your house off even faster, and actually a smart way, because who wants to pay a mortgage for 30 years? I don't.
Yeah. Look, V King again is talking about about that. He
What you
said
said.
he gets a 15-year loan. I had never heard of. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never heard of this either. And I've bought property before, but I've never heard anybody say that I should pay an extra payment per year.
A
Right?
year,
So
yes, towards your principal. Yes. My mother did the same thing. I got it from my mother because my mother was a single mom and she worked hard and she had 4 kids and she was able to pay her house off early also. She had a 30-year loan and she paid her house off in 20 years.
20 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
Tell
it took
me
off 10 years.
10 years. Wow. So tell me the differences. Well, let me see. I want to know what's the difference in having it for 20. Okay, let me rephrase it. So you paid off the house in 10 years, right? Or was it 10 years?
No, I paid off in 7.
In 7 years. Wow, in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have it paid off, what's the benefit of having it paid off?
The
What's
benefit, the benefit of it, I got all that equity, and me and my girls was just already talking about it. So with that equity, you can pull all that equity out of your home and buy you purchase another property and rent that out or whatever you're gonna do with it. And it's not only do you have another asset, the asset is paying that loan off. That's the benefit of it. So what
okay?
we're thinking about doing now is we're going to do a multi, we're going to do a duplex or a triplex. the next adventure. Me and Diamond already talked about it. So what we're gonna do is pull out the equity from my home, and then we're gonna purchase a fourplex. So with that fourplex, you already know it's gonna make us 10 times the money. And so we keep on going and going and going. That's the name of the game. You want to make some money. You have to let your assets work for you. You need to have residual income so that we can retire early, because I'm ready to retire. I've been working all my life.
Right. Okay, so that's really interesting because I have never thought of paying off a mortgage as a good thing. I thought of having a mortgage spread out over a long period of time would be good for taxes and that kind of thing. But you're saying I should pay it off and use the equity, equity to buy something else.
That is correct.
So it's very important that you muster the thing to do it next. You can't get the equity and spend it. You got to leverage it towards another purchase.
And yes, to me that's the smartest way, because ain't no way you gotta spend money to make money. So yeah, I could go and get it's called a HELOC loan, and take the HELOC and maybe do some okay.
What's that? HELOC, what's that?
It's a home equity loan. That is a lot better than that's what that's called, a HELOC loan. It's called a HELOC loan. It's a home equity loan. So you can pull your equity out of your home, and it's a better interest when you pull that off out of your for your equity.
Okay, you lost me a little bit.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
So let's say we got a house and it's paid, and we got a HELOC loan.
You're saying HELOC. It's called a HELOC.
A HELOC. Now you're saying that's the most advantageous piece, having the HELOC. Is that the most advantageous use of our equity, or is there something?
Yes.
That's the most advantageous.
To take the equity from your home. I mean, if you're not into real estate, I mean, that's fine. I mean, if you don't want to purchase another one, that's fine. But one thing you will know that you'll never be, I mean, if you could take equity, if you have an emergency, if you need to buy stuff, you always have some money. You know what I'm saying? So a home is a great asset for anyone to have. Because with that being said, any times that you are down and out, you always have that home, and to take the equity out to get the type of money that you need, but you have to pay it back, but you can get a lesser interest rate with the HELOC.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to let that settle. I'm gonna have to let that settle on me. That's a bit. Yeah.
See, a lot of people don't know. We haven't been educated on it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know. But home ownership is everything. And I push my kids for the same thing. And so with that, you have to make it an advantage and make it work for you.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back.
Go ahead.
Back, because I think you could have been helpful to me back in the day. So I bought a condo, and then I flipped that condo to buy a 10-unit building. Right?
Yes.
And the 10-unit building got unwieldy for me, and it was too much going on. And I ended up foreclosing. So how could I have kept that 10-unit property? How could I have turned it around?
Okay, so you had a condo. You took the equity out, or you sold your condo and then bought a 10-unit?
I sold the condo and levered up to buy the 10.
Okay, to a 10. Okay. Yeah. So was it a maintenance thing, or you couldn't rent it out? What went on?
It was people were in it, but people weren't spending their money because different things happened. Like I had just enough to buy it, so I didn't have enough overage. So like the water was broken, something else happened, and I didn't have any more money to put into it over what I spent to buy it. Oh wait, are you on mute? Oh, she's got me on mute. So for all y'all watching, this is what happened to me. So I bought a condo in Brooklyn, and I held it for a while, and then I sold it, and I sold it for enough to buy a 10-unit apartment complex, and I had the 10-unit complex, and I was like, I'm chilling, I'm chilling for life, right? But things kept happening that I couldn't pay for anymore because I spent all of my spending on buying the property. And so hopefully Alisa is gonna tell me how I could do it.
So when you do that, I think maybe you didn't have when you bought it, you did probably I don't know how much you spent on it. But you could have easily got a loan or a type of what's that's called? It's a investor loan. You could have reached out and try to get whatever the equity or whatever they estimated that unit to be. You could have got monies a loan because that's collateral. You know what I'm saying? From that to get money to fix up that condo. But I mean the 10 unit. But I know things are expensive to fix. That's why it's very important to have like a separate account to put money into so that just in case stuff break down, you have that. But with that 10 unit that you had, I don't understand. You should have been able to get a loan to be able to fix those things. I don't know what happened, but
Oh,
had I known when you had it, I would have probably showed you what to
yeah,
do.
you showed me what it was because
Right.
what happened was I think I think my loan amount was getting the property, and I think you're saying at the beginning where I'm acquiring the 10 unit property, I should also be asking for a loan. Like, is that
You
how?
should, yeah. The way I don't know how much you pay for it, and maybe you might have paid too much for it, where you should have had some wiggle room to be able to fix it, or you could have got a loan on top of that, like maybe a second mortgage or second something to help, fix up the units.
Yeah, my problem was I was trying to do everything myself. That's what my problem.
Yeah, and that's what it was. And I
I was
have
trying to do
maintenance
everything
guys. I
myself.
have people on deck. You have to have people on deck. But
Yeah,
if you know how to do the stuff, that does save money. So I don't blame you. But if you didn't know how to do everything, that's why you get your handymans on deck to have them come fix your stuff.
yeah. It would have been nice to have someone around to show me what to do because I could have
Right.
because I remember now that I think about it, I was trying to get a loan later on.
Hmm.
I was trying to get the loan later on to help me with the thing, but then the guy who I was trying to get the loan from was like, "It's too late. It's too late."
It's too late.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that transpired because how is it too late? You know what I'm saying? Because anytime uh any property goes up every year, you know what I'm saying? Our property value goes up every year. So even if you had a year or two, you still had a little bit of equity. So I didn't understand. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
wow, wow. You just open up a whole new world of things going wrong for you back in the day. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I wish I had you around then. Wish I had you around
Right.
then.
I'm here now. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah. I'm never read it. All right, so tell me about these fourplexes that you're gonna measure the 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 assets of your home, your home that you bought for 7 years, and you're gonna pay it on the fourplex, right? So tell us about the fourplex.
We haven't found one yet. That's what we're hoping. That's the plan. Um, to go ahead and take the equity from the homes. Like I got two homes that I possibly take equity from, and then purchase me and my daughter, Diamond. We're gonna do it together. But we're looking into purchasing a fourplex after this, probably in September. That's what we're hoping. That's our plan.
So what do you do with the money in the meantime? Like, do you put it in escrow? Like, how does it? How do you
Mm-mm.
do?
Right now, I haven't applied for it. I haven't applied. Right now, I'm just kind of relaxing. But what I do, I haven't pulled the money out. Once I pull the money out, after I seek one out, and if I can find one at a good price, then that's when I'll go and get the equity from my homes, and then we'll purchase the fourplex.
Okay. Fee's wondering is a HELOC better than the FHA?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me the difference. I don't know what HELOC is and what
Um,
FHA is.
I mean, FHA, that's when you purchase. That's when you purchasing a home. I'm not purchasing my home. I bought it, my home. So the loan that I would get is a HELOC because that's home equity. I'm borrowing from my own home. A FHA in a variable loan is when you're actually purchasing your home. So that's the difference with that. So when you already bought your home and you have your home, you take the interest. You're borrowing. It's like you're borrowing from your own property, your own asset. FHA is when you're actually first, when you're going to purchase the home outright. So that's the difference.
Okay. I need to. I need you to break that down for me later on because I didn't get that. I
Okay.
didn't get that.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's
Yeah.
B King is lighting it up now. She's got all kinds of questions. Let me see if I get to some of
Okay, honey.
them. Okay. Okay, let me put this one up. You dispel the myth that one has to have good credit to buy. Oh, this I know. This one I know. So this, speak to this. Can you dispel the myth that one has to have good credit to buy?
There's a such thing as an ABC line of credit that you can have. You can purchase a house with your credit score at 580, but your interest is going to be higher. But you can. But they typically want your credit to be at least a 620 or 640. That's B, and that's B line, and then A line is like anywhere from 750 on up. So don't ever tell nobody that you can't buy a house because you can still purchase. You'll have a bigger interest at 580, but you can buy a house at 580.
Yeah, and that's just going by the numbers that they tell you, right? Because I found
Mm-hmm.
this guy online recently. He was buying up, big properties, like 32 units, 32 units.
Right.
So he's buying big properties. He's buying this, and then he went to a new city. Went to a new city to buy a new property, and he said,
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, sorry, your score is like 400." He was like, 400? Nah,
Right.
I just did this whole building. But it's true that he had a 400, but in his hometown where he was doing everything, it was everyone assumed that someone else did the check. And so
Oh.
about him just going for it, just doing the thing.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I think there's that to be said. There's that to be said too, right?
Right, right. It depends on, yeah, like how what distance, how the timeline as far as when he actually did um the purchase, because sometimes that does make your credit score go down because of you might have just purchased it in maybe a year or 6 months, and it takes time to bring that back up because you have to be able to make sure you're making that payment on time. So anytime you purchase something, your credit score does go down after until 2 or 3 months, and then it goes back up. So that could have happened.
Okay.
And there's also a such thing as when we bought our first house, it's something called assumable loans. And assumable loans back in 1995,
So you saying
um, assumable, like you assume somebody's loan.
assumable
Yeah,
loans?
assumable loans. And so that's how we purchased our first house. Um, they told us how much we had to put down, and then they did a slight credit check back in the day. But as long as we were working and doing whatever, and made a bid on it, we were able to, put down. I think we put down like $10,000 then, and then we were able to assume that person's loan, and it was purchased. That's how it was purchased. And I actually paid that house off a long time ago too.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
So it's
All right.
different routes. Can't never say that you can't buy a house. You can. There's different programs that got first time buyers, where they give you money, $1,000 as far as going for your closing costs, and they give you all kinds of credits to go towards it. So there's different ways of buying a house, and there's all kinds of different programs out there for people. So
Okay.
don't never tell nobody, don't let nobody ever tell you that you can't purchase a home, because you can.
Yeah. And you can't get out of a problem with the home that you purchased, right? Because
Uh-huh.
I could have worked it out with my 10 units.
Hmm. Yes, you could have. I
Okay.
wish I'd have known, because yes, I would have helped you.
Yes, I appreciate that. Appreciate you. So one
Yeah.
last thing. What
Yes.
what what advice would you give me? And this is my situation. I've had a stroke. I've had trouble making money. Like, what would you assume that would be what the work for me?
Okay, what will work for you? I would get out there to see what type of, like, make sure that your credit is, to a certain extent. Like I said, you can buy a house at 580. And
Okay.
then when you go on, you have to have at least 2 years of on the job. Like, but if you entrepreneur, you still have to show that you have 2 years of a constant in that building, in that business. And then another thing that they do look at is, like, if your bank account, like if your main bank account that's checking, you can't never have any overdrafts or anything like that. They look at that type of stuff at least for a year of that. So I mean, there's different programs for there's different programs. I don't know what y'all have in New York, but I would reach out to like a to any what do we have? We got Omaha 100 here in Omaha. And that's any classes that they hold there, um that'll teach you and sit down and walk with you to go through purchasing homes. They have all kinds of programs like that. That's what you need to seek out. We got Habitat Homes. I don't know if you guys have Habitat in New York.
I think so. I
Yeah,
think
Habitat would be in that. With the Habitat, you can build your own home. So there are different type of programs out there that you can get and purchase a home,
okay.
and they'll
Well,
do step by step.
right, right. Well, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Lisa.
Okay.
Wait, speaking, hold me, said, I gotta ask part two. Hold on, hold on. Let's see. I'm coming over to what'd you say, Fee? What do you
But
part?
she got something smart to say.
No, she's saying part two, but I don't know what that is. I guess. Oh, she's saying I gotta come. I gotta have you back on. I've
Yeah,
gotta
oh
have you.
yeah, most definitely. And then
Yeah.
just give me some questions ahead of time so I can make sure that I have everything on deck. You know what I'm saying? So it could be more I get more information. Whoever has questions or whatever, I am more than happy. I'm not the type that hold stuff back. I want to teach one, each one teach one, and
Yeah.
that's how I am. And I'm pay it forward. Um I'm putting this into my children so
Yeah.
that they'll know I talk to them, and I talk to them about stuff like that. And anybody
Yeah.
that has any questions, I am able and I am willing to kind of walk through it and just kind of teach.
All right. All right.
All
That's all
right.
the time we got.
All
Thank
right.
you for being here. I want to say that now is better than perfect. Now is better,
Mhm.
and let's go. Let's get you back on the air.
All right. No problem.
All right, later.
I'll holler at y'all.
Later.
Hey, B. Have a